What's up, guys? Titan here, Super High Titan, and today we're here with another podcast, another VaporCast, and we have my co-host Zoroark Films.
What's up? What's up?
And then we have our two special guests, Nathan or Enraile.
Yo.
And Will.
That's me. I don't have an alias.
Will Wade. Will Wade is like so badass. You don't really need an alias. It's such a cool name. So it's like, all right, you don't need an alias, I guess.
Yeah, the alliteration makes it hit.
WWIV. That shit sounds like World War IV or something. That's kind of dope.
True.
Wait a minute. But before we start off the podcast today, I just want to say, rest in peace to George Floyd, and I'm not saying, and I want to say that some of these riots are not well deserved, but in a sense they are. And I feel like if anybody has a problem with me tweeting out the hashtag Black Lives Matter or any other hashtag that I tweet out, suck my dick from the back and fuck off. And
damn straight.
And
Big true.
And don't listen to all my music anymore, which is fine. Nobody listens to my music anyway. But either way, don't listen to my music and don't listen to my podcast. And I guess that's all I have to say. So, sorry. Let's have some fun now.
To probably mention that Will and Nathan both together create the, I guess I can call it band. I don't know if you guys consider it a band, Eyeclick.
Yeah, it's a band.
It's a band. All right. So let's start off with the questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
All right. This first one is from on Twitter at Your Unspeakable. How did you guys meet? The homie, yeah. How did you two meet? Go ahead.
Big shout out to Unspeakable.
Yeah.
I think we met in high school, like sophomore year.
It was freshman year.
Freshman year.
Our radio broadcasting class. That's how we became friends.
Dope.
Yeah, we really became friends sophomore year when we had like a radio show together, though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's dope as hell.
Yeah.
The Bellevue morning show.
Yeah, we did that every morning. We'd come in before school and have our own, talk show, and we played like vaporwave and stuff and talked about everything going on. And that's how we
That's respectable. I like that.
Yeah.
So the question coming in from Designator. So we're asking like two Twitter questions, and then we have some questions that I wrote down, and then some more Twitter questions. Designator asked, "What's the album that made you guys really double down on making music?"
I read that question. I don't know if Designator meant like the album that we made or the album like that I listened to.
I think it's the album that we listened to.
Yeah. I think that's what
If you want to answer both, if you want to answer both in that form, then go ahead. But yeah.
I don't know. I think the album that I listened to that made me want to make music.
Don't steal mine, bro.
I can't steal yours. I wanted to make music like back when I was like in middle school or something. Like when I first started listening to like I really got into Pink Floyd in middle school, and so like I was like, wow, that music can be super cool. Definitely. And then I kind of dived into like some more like different sounding stuff from Pink Floyd, and like more like experimental stuff like that made me really want to make music, because I kind of first like thought some of the songs were like a joke, and I thought it was funny, and I would like play it for people, and then I started to realize that it was actually like super cool, and probably you could just mess around and like it would sound good.
Definitely, yeah. I like that answer.
So for me, I'm just gonna say I started off listening to like the first like music I ever like actually got into by myself was like Linkin Park and shit.
Right.
But from then I developed different tastes. I started listening to more like electronic stuff. I was a huge Skrillex fan for a long time, and then from that I got into stuff like Daft Punk and Justice and all those guys, all the electronic guys. But really the answer for me is Heavy Black Heart by Death's Dynamic Shroud.
Yep. That's a good choice.
That really changed my whole perspective on what music is.
You thought I was gonna steal that?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna steal that.
Didn't we have like 3 albums out by that time that that Heavy Black Heart came out?
Yeah, but that kind of changed my whole,
That's besides the point.
Yeah, exactly.
It changed the game. It did change the game. That's not.
I guess.
That's not an understatement.
I feel that in a bit. To me, I think sorry if me answering questions bothers people. I don't know.
Don't worry.
I like to talk too, so.
It's your podcast.
But I think albums that inspired me. If I want to go the rap route, I feel like albums that inspired me were, like when I was rapping. I think it's like a lot of old school like boom bap rap and just old school and like nothing too crazy. And then vaporwave, I think. I don't know. I think it was more. I think I listened to a couple albums and just went, holy shit, I can do this. Because a couple years ago I tried it out and then like I failed so miserably and a lot of the songs you hear on Buffalo City 1 are like old projects that I did. And the original Buffalo City was it wasn't as good as I made it out to be. Or I wanted it to be. That's just me.
I don't know. I fucking love the original Buffalo City. That album is special to me.
And I love like early music from artists that I know personally. Like that just like I love when most people I talk to usually don't like their like early stuff or whatever, but I love that. I feel like it gives you so much of a like insight into what their music will be now, and
to be honest though, I mean before I started doing vaporwave as a whole professional thing, before I started putting my albums places, and like when I was working on music before, like I never really liked it. I never really liked anything I did in the past. But when the first Buffalo, like this version of Buffalo City came out, I think I was more confident. And some days I sit back thinking like, when I was working on Palm City 2 and Prelude to CrossFit or Post CrossFit, I was gonna say Prelude to CrossFit too, but Post CrossFit, by the way, out now.
Go listen to it.
But I was working on it and I'm like, I can't do the same thing that I did then. But it's like, yes you can, but you can make it better. You can make it different. You can make it sound way better than it did when you first made Buffalo City. Buffalo City is an extremely long album, and it wasn't supposed to be that long, because I guess because I put it out, and then like I was talking to Twin Pines to put it on Bogus, and then he said June 15th, and I'm like, oh hell no, that's a long time. And it was like in March, so I'm like, oh no. And then half of that album, half of Buffalo City, like the first one, was actually supposed to be CrossFit, I believe, but then I just kind of put it all in one. But that's my explanation for everything. So
that's how it happens. You make some songs and you're like, you have it in mind for like a certain project, and over time when the projects start coming together, you're like, oh shit, maybe this would fit better on this. Like
right.
That's what happened with Space World, because every song on there was meant for a different project. Only one song I made was like for Space World specifically. And I made after the fact.
Like, bro, I really do like that album, and I'm not a vapor trap heavy type of dude or anything, but I like it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And then my next question, this is for Will specifically. So you're in the band Cucks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nathan is too.
Oh, he is? Me and Zoro were talking about that. Like, is Enraile in Cucks? Because I never.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's me, Enraile, and Sean Doherty, our friend from back in Seattle.
Okay, I thought so. So, Okay, so I guess this is for both of you. So how did the band Cucks form? What was your like, and what's your overall inspiration for more experimental side of
That's a
music?
great question. Yeah, so well, like I was like kind of into noise music as like a I don't want to say as like an idea. I like as like but pretty much as an idea, like just like being able to like make whatever you want and people will accept it as music. That is the idea. Is and so I was just like basically screwing around during like lunchtime in high school, and I like was like, "Hey Sean, come over here, like watch me open a bag of chips into a microphone." And shit, and like I did all that shit, and we were just like, yo, let's start a band. Went into physics class with Nathan, where the bulk of Cuck's material came out of.
Yeah, we just like sample our teacher talking, and we just kind of like scream randomly in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah, or like tapping. They'd be like, stop tapping. And I was like, I'm like straight making a song right now. Nathan joined during physics. We like released like an album a day, pretty much, like album a week or something.
Right.
Back then.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I do have a a soft spot for that, like for the weirder more side of music, because like I mean we're already in the we're all in the weirdest genre of music as it is. I mean me personally,
yeah.
But like we're all slowing down 80s music, or putting beats over certain songs and shit. So it's that's what I usually like about vaporwave, and that's what I like about music in general, that you can make anything. And as long
Exactly.
as it has that certain aesthetic to it, people will listen to it.
Yeah, as long as I figured noise music really got me into music, because it made me figure out that like if you like call any sound music, if you call it music, that's all you need to do to make it music.
Right.
And I think it was like really like mind opening, because I could just like I had this outlet now through Cucks that was like I could literally do anything, and it doesn't matter.
Music will give you that outlet. To be honest with you, that's what it's done for me, at least. Like music has given me an outlet. Of course, it's a sense of escapism, but there has to be what Bosby told me. Me and Bosby talked about this a little bit. When working on music, or when you call your music escapism, of course, music is definitely escapism. But in the same sense, you need to be more. You need to talk about real stuff at times. Yes,
that's a fact.
Like, okay, yes, Palm City, that takes you somewhere. That might take you to a different city, but sometimes I might have to talk about something that's going on in the world, like the George Floyd thing. Not to bring that back, but everybody has to talk about something. But that's what I like about vaporwave, is that it brings this kind of sense of security, and it makes me happier, I guess, to just be near that.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's very true. Vaporwave is a completely different like world. I feel like I love it. I love how accepting the community is. It's not like and I've been like quote unquote a part of a lot of different like styles of music community, and like as far as all of them go, from like punk to like EDM, like fucking vaporwave, no one really cares. Everyone's down.
It's totally like it's definitely really reassuring, because when I was in the EDM scene for like 8 years, it kind of feels like no one's like on your side, really. You're always trying to appease to something has to sound a certain way, and your audience is just a bunch of people on tons of drugs at like music festivals, and you have to make things for other people. But with vaporwave, it's not just that. You're making music for yourself, and you're making music that it doesn't matter what it sounds like.
I don't like to admit this, but sorry if I cut you off. Sorry, you didn't finish what you were saying.
No, go on.
So I don't want to admit this, but sometimes I listen to my own music because it's just like it's a vibe. So I'm like, well, vibe out to poems.
You listen to your own music sometimes?
Yeah, bro. We stay listening to our own music. It's always stuck in our heads, and that's.
And to be fair, you made the damn music anyway.
Yeah, just like I like my own tweets. Like, I like that shit, you know?
I thought that shit was tight, so...
Someone's gotta
like it other than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely... like, you'll find your own music getting stuck in your head, and that's kind of the coolest feeling ever. It's something that's hard to find in other genres and styles unless you take like tons of time and effort, and like another thing about vaporwave is that you have like fans that are also friends that are also artists that you're fans of, and that's just a dynamic you can't really get anywhere else, and it's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to speak on the noise scene again in that regard. I think it's the same, but just a little colder. Noise people are way colder. I feel like vaporwave, since it's more internet focused, everyone in it has like a strong tie to the internet, and so they're just easier to converse with. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that's what I enjoy about the whole genre as a whole. Like, first of all, it's internet based, so there's you have your assholes or whatever, but at the end of the day, you're all using internet. You're all making music from the internet, and that's what I really love about it. No matter the opinions, the feelings, everybody's making music, and it's good. Some people you might have to stop supporting because of their views, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It's just all about music. For me, that's what it is, and for me, I love music, and music is one of the things in my life that makes me, that energizes me, that gets me up in the morning. And
that's damn it's true. That's exactly how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, especially with what we're making right now with Eyeclick, I haven't felt like such a passion or drive to like make more and like expand on this idea way more. Like the songs are all stuck in my head when I'm sleeping. It's all I think about.
Yes.
Like,
do you know how, bro? The song, this song "Rocksteady" by the Whispers, which is sampled on "Prelude to CrossFit." That song is always in my head. Just the loop that I did, just the loop, and then just like, I'm like, damn, I love that song. Like, I listen. Sometimes I have to listen to it to my own music because, like I said, it's a vibe. So hell, why not? And I really do appreciate the Eyeclick shit. It feels kind of like it has like that classic vaporwave feel to it, with somewhat of a hypnagogic type of. I don't know. But I really enjoy the Eyeclick albums.
Yeah, I think that's because that's what we really came from. Like, I've been listening to vaporwave like since like 2014 ish. I'd like only just started making it, so like. Right. Really like I made some stuff back then. I never posted it, but like that all of our vaporwave influences, or at least all of mine, are really like old style, like the classic style.
Right. Well, Zoro, you got your question, I guess.
Yeah, I do. Let me find that. Next question for Justin Enraile. Back in Space World 2000, what was your inspiration, influences? Tell me about it. Space World 2000.
Oh man, Space World 2000. So basically, the album came together just over the period of a couple months. It had consisted of all these songs I've been making the past 3 years that I couldn't finish. I had these cool ideas. A lot of them were kind of like the project file for like Digital Dream was called like blank Banshee ripoff 125, and like in a heart-shaped brain, I kind of started that as like I was super obsessed with the song "Life Should Be Easy" from Heavy Black Heart, and I was like, I'm gonna sample some K-pop and make like a real beautiful song. But everything kind of ended up turning out really differently. But the majority of the album is I don't know. It's just inspired by things I find cool. A lot of Death's Dynamic Shroud is definitely my biggest influence. Those guys really know how to put it down and make the best music imaginable. A lot of influences from older stuff I listened to. Daft Punk, Justice. There's 2 samples on there from like Porter Robinson and Madeon, because I used to be diehard fans of those guys, and it's not really Space World 2000 wasn't like it's not a concept album. There's no real ideas to it. It's yeah, exactly. It's kind of just like, here's a bunch of songs I made that I think are really cool, and I came up with the name Space World 2000 because there's this event that Nintendo used to do. It's like their own little E3 type thing where they like showcased off all their new games from like 92 to like 2004 or something, and I was just looking for like visuals to use, and I was like, well, if I threw some old Nintendo shit in there, because I grew up playing GameCube and all that stuff. And I remembered Space World 2000, like, that's dying to be an album.
Right.
True.
A lot of Vaporer type beats on there.
Yeah,
I noticed.
He's some big influence for me. And yeah, it's just a lot of experimentation with things I was already doing.
Right.
And there's just a period of 3 months where I was just in my dorm room getting super high and playing like Kirby's Air Ride and Super Smash Bros. And I was like, I need to make a real Enraile album.
Super high. Yeah, I get it. I didn't mean to throw that in there. Anyway, but I mean, I enjoyed it, and it did definitely feel like they were different instrumentals and nothing. But it's not that they didn't piece together. They felt together, but it's like it does give off that feel that they're not from the same project, I guess to say.
Right.
But that doesn't make me enjoy the album any less. I like the album for number one being different, and and shit like that, and I really enjoyed it. That came out back in March, right? That did come out in March.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So this is a question. This isn't the question that's on the list, but how much more like albums and stuff do you think you have, and do you got anything like in store for us right now, other than the Eyeclick stuff?
I'm to be honest, ever since Space World dropped, I haven't been making much solo stuff. I've done some tracks for like compilations, like this mixtape 64 thing that just came out. Did some remixes of Nintendo 64 songs with guys like like Sound Market, Synchro Start, Panzer Paradise, all those like Vapor Trap guys, and that's pretty cool. But the thing with Space World is, like, I don't know if I kind of feel like I'll never be able to top that, because it was like a compilation of the greatest stuff I made that over like 3 years or something.
It's funny. It's funny though. Like, sorry to cut you off again, but it's funny because fuck. What was I gonna say? I just cut you off for no fucking reason. I apologize.
Nah, you're good. Other than that, like Millennium Edition, that's my other thing.
I love those albums as well. But I remember I was gonna say, I know that feeling of like not being able to make an album, like not being able to, like feeling that feeling of not being able to live up to something you did in the past. When I was working on Buffalo City 2, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to live up to even one. And then I was working on Palm City 2, which will be out on Bogus, I think, next month. I don't know. But I was working on Palm City 2. I was like, can you fucking do anything right? Like, what's wrong with you? And you get that feeling of I can't do this, and it takes a lot out of you because then you don't really know how to react to it. But you wanna put your best effort forward, and you wanna put out the best project you can.
Yep, I totally feel that. It's been kind of tough for me because I moved out to Nashville and I don't have like my desktop or any of the stuff I was, super productive and on top of things with, and I stopped smoking weed, which was my number one creative enhancer, I guess you could say. So but I've been getting into the swing of things more recently. I can't wait to make more music, and I'm just got to keep, working at it.
Always.
It might take, a couple of years to make some really, I don't know, something that I find can live up to Space World 2000 or even surpass it. But
I think that's good, though. I think that just gives you like the years. All the best artists, have a really good album, and they don't come out with the album right after. You gotta just like I think having a really, really good album and having the need to surpass it is a great great enhancer. That's an enhancer right there.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm working on Millennium Edition 3. Millennium Edition was started with my friend Zach. He was like, yo, let's make a Vaporwave album. And I was like, hell yeah. So our first album, he sent samples over and stuff, and we kind of just slowed them down, and like 2 or 3 of the songs on there are made from scratch. But like connection software, I hate to bust Zach's balls here, but he didn't make any of it.
Zach isn't really a music producer,
Yeah,
though.
he's
Let's get that. Let's make sure that's clear.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't, ask him like, yo, make stuff for this stuff. He sent me samples, and then I'm kind of just like was fucking around and made these 8 songs that I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And
Right.
Yeah, that album's definitely one like my second favorite I've ever made, because some of the songs in there get stuck in your head like even more so than things on Space World, especially because there's a lot more sampling, and I was able to put that album on Spotify somehow, even though there's just like a whole ass like Keith Sweat song chopped and screwed.
Dude, I literally planned on putting both of my Mallsoft albums, all my Allstate Virtual albums on Spotify. What are they gonna say? But
yeah, exactly.
But Enraile, do you have any or not Enraile? Fuck me gently with a chainsaw. Will, do you have any projects that you're just working on and you about to release them?
Yeah, there's always tons of projects that I'm working on. I sent you like my solo like folk stuff. I have an album that is like a solo album that I've been working on for years.
I like some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's more progressive rocky though. It's like not really folk anymore. But I've been sitting on that for a long ass time. I've been waiting for the right time to finish that. Yeah. And then like I don't know, most of my stuff is like I'm focusing a lot on Eyeclick right now. I do have a project with this guy Chris, and we just went in the recording studio, recorded some like free form stuff.
Right.
And then like I'm in a punk band called Shit Show. I don't know what that's all about. I just play drums in that. But yeah, Eyeclick, like we got some albums in store for y'all.
Yeah,
like,
Right. I'm ready. I'm
we
ready. You know, I'm always
we're like
ready.
3 albums ahead of this album that's gonna drop on the 16th, and like, yeah, we think it's gonna be some real shit.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? But I think, yeah, I think I don't have any projects in the vault, to be honest with you, other than like the Future Funk album, because I release everything. I release everything because it's just like, it's like, what the fuck? The fuck is the point? Like, it's like I either drop it or I just leave it in here and I'm just gonna listen to it until I feel like.
Yeah.
And you know that's why I had to make my own personal Bandcamp, because it's like I want to drop shit on my own every once in a while. So.
Yeah, that's really what we did for a while. Like we would just make albums like after album, and we have this label that we started with a bunch of people called Neo Noise Collective. We drop a lot of stuff on that. It's like upwards. There's almost 100 albums on that now, and hella drafted. There's a drafted Enraile solo piano album on that the world has yet to hear.
So this next question's coming from Archives Vapor or Vapor Archives. What was your introduction to Vaporwave?
I guess I'll start with mine. Mine's from Will. Will kind of showed me everything ever, like like awful dubstep music if it weren't for him. And but I think that Bellevue, that morning show, that radio show we did, we would use like Cat's Corp, Cosmopolitan Dreams as the bed.
Yeah, Home TM.
Yeah, and Prism Corp, Virtual Enterprises, Home TM. That was kind of the first Vaporwave album that, because we played it every single morning for like 2 years straight, and
yeah, it was literally perfect for a radio show. Like the beginning song, that all the songs that would come back after breaks are like perfect. It was just a perfect soundtrack to a radio show. Not gonna lie.
And then we also, Will showed me like Vice 98 stuff. We listened to stuff like Panzer Paradise and like Ocean Shores and
Mirage,
all those guys. And then from there, like I kind of just started listening to, like a ton of Cat's Corp, Infinite, Death Dynamic Shroud.
Tell them the Death Dynamic Shroud story.
What Death Dynamic Shroud?
When I showed you
Oh yeah, I was like, this is in like 2017. It's like my 3rd time ever being high. When we were in our homie Zach's car going to the bowling alley, and Will throws on this album. He's like, listen to this. This is insane. And he puts on Heavy Black Heart.
I put on my turned off phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I kind of I just became the back seat of the Jeep,
Right.
I was just like,
you were in the car.
Exactly. I was like, what is this? And then Nothing Like This World came on, and I was like, what are you kidding?
That's literally every fucking Vaporwave project. Like when everybody who listens to Vaporwave for the first time, like you're listening to this, you're like, the first thought that crosses your mind isn't like, oh, this sounds cool, or this is great. The first thought, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
for real.
Exactly. And that, I could go on and on about that album. That is the greatest album of all time. That changed my perception of music entirely. From that point on, I started thinking like, okay, music isn't like just this formulaic, like it needs to sound like this, it needs to be like that. It can be whatever the hell you want it to be. Anything that sounds cool is music.
True. True. I got into Vaporwave like 2 years earlier, 2 or 3, and like I'm pretty sure the first time I ever remember hearing or seeing vaporwave was like that meme of like the dog and they play Macintosh plus 420 or something, and I was like, what is that? That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I liked that tune. And then I remember I was in London, and
London.
I was just on a train, and I was like, what album do I listen to? I was like alone. I was like, all right, gotta.
Your parents left you alone on
Yeah, my dad was on some sort of like business trip and was like, yo, go wild. It was actually tight. I got to go to every record store ever and buy Infinity Records. But that's neither here nor there. I listened to that. I listened to fucking Floral Shop, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right, this is really fucking sick. And I messaged Nathan, yo, we got to make a vaporwave, and he replied, "Is this a meme?" and look where we are now. Like,
at that point, I'd only heard like second track on Floral Shop and like Home Resonance or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, like this music's cool. I didn't think of it much because I only had the internet mindset of like, ha, that's funny. They slowed down a song.
Right.
It's not real.
Right.
It's
not real.
I was like really into Death Grips at the time or something. Ooh. And so I like made a cassette tape of half the cassette was Floral Shop all the way through, and then half of it was just like a Death Grips mix. And like made the whole album cover. I've photoshopped MC Ride's face on the statue or something. Yeah. And then I posted it. I was looking for places to like post it on Facebook or something, and I found the Vaporwave Cassette Club. Right. And then it was all over from there.
Right.
Yeah.
It was all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I can always appreciate that though. Like, just like I pretty much found Vaporwave just listening to Michael Jackson, and then I found the fucking
Saint Pepsi.
Yeah, the Saint Pepsi.
Saint Pepsi, yeah.
Because people were in the comments talking about some. Oh, I didn't know Michael Jackson was a Saint Pepsi. I'm like, who the fuck is Saint Pepsi? The fuck? And then I listened to it. I'm like, huh? Oh my god! Why is there a mood man riding on a cloud? What the? What am I watching?
Why?
What the fuck? And then I listened to then I was watching a video. And I'm gonna explain this in every episode. Everybody's gonna know how I found Vaporwave one way or the other. But but I was watching the video, and it was who the fuck is that guy called? It was like Know Your Meme or whatever. He was like but it was like
oh, the Know Your Meme guy on Vaporwave.
The guy that literally Pat Jennington.
Yeah, the guy that everybody literally hates. The Know Your Meme guy, and then I was just like looking through. And then it said, Vaporwave and aesthetics. I'm like, what the what? So then I look it up, and then they start, like, I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. Then I started watching videos about it, and, tried to make it, but, like, I didn't have a computer until I was, like, until, like 2-3 years ago. And then, but, like, then when I got my computer, I started trying to make Vaporwave. But then the thing was, I was just like, oh, let me make this Vaporwave, and then, but then I was like, I want to make beats. Then I made beats for like a couple of years, but then I tried to make Vaporwave again, failed at it miserably. But then, this year during a pandemic, I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make some Vaporwave. So,
hell yeah,
that's just mine.
Yeah,
I don't think I even knew that Vaporwave was like sampled until like. I'm not even kidding. Like years. Like I thought that like most of it was literally like MIDI or something until I used to message Cats Corp all the time. Yeah. When I was like a wee lad, and I was like, what VST do you use for your saxophone? And he was like, oh, they're mostly samples.
Like, what are you talking about, VST? I use samples. What do you mean? Like,
yeah, he's like Cubase. I was like, and then I kind of like my world was shattered right there. I was like, whoa, like they're just literally slowing some shit down. Like,
Yeah, no, I was the opposite. I knew from the first minute that they were slowing shit down, and having made shit like dubstep and shit from scratch for 8 years, and like not, like it sounding like pee pee poo poo, and then I instantly like take a sample from like Kmart tape and slow it down, and it's better than 99% of the music I've ever made. I was like,
I hate
damn.
that feeling. Like I was like when I used to make beats for people. Like I'm like, oh man, this beat is ass. Like, but why is my vaporwave? First of all, my vaporwave was the only thing that's gotten me any money from anything I've ever done in music. Like I rapped, I didn't get money from that. I like out of everything I've ever done. Like music is the only thing that I've done that's like that I've actually stayed true to, and I still appreciate that. I appreciate that more than anything in the world, and I wouldn't trade my vaporwave for anything. I wouldn't trade the people I've met in this community, like you two, Zorark, and Stay in School, Filter, and Halogems especially. I wouldn't trade that shit for the world, to be honest with you. And
yeah,
I totally agree.
That's what I appreciate about this whole thing, this whole scene. We've literally, I mean, you could literally come up from nothing in this scene, and yeah, so that's just what I
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally share that sentiment. Like all these friends I've made and met. Like when I made that CD player remix, I think that's when I got in touch with Unspeakable and Kirby Andy, and those guys are just like my favorite guys ever. They're always showing their love and showing their support.
Yo, shout out to
like
Unspeakable.
really shout out to
Big shout out to Unspeakable.
And Kirby and D. But Unspeakable, I think he's one of the first people I met too. I think he's one of the first people I actually like DM'd when I first made the Hologems group chat. But this is before it was the Hologems group chat. But
yeah,
he was one of the first people I met, and we kind of clicked and we talked for a little bit.
It's because vaporwave is such a young scene. You could be any age and like you're accepted. Like it's just a perfect like mat, like perfect drawing board for creating something of your own on top of it.
Exactly.
Always.
That's yes.
I don't think I've told my story of how I got into vaporwave.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it?
Yeah.
I don't think. Have I done that? I don't remember.
I don't know if you have, but if you have, I mean,
I don't think I've done. I don't think I've ever mentioned it. Oh God. I'm actually very new to the vaporwave scene because I haven't been like messing around for like 5 years. I've only been doing this for like 1 year. I think I was on the Needle Drops channel, his side channel,
there
and
we go.
I see on the site, I'm like, ooh, 106.7 like vaporwave albums you should know by this random dude named Pat Jennington.
You're like, oh, I wonder who that is.
And I knew a little bit about it. Besides like the memes, I wasn't too known. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm down. I was getting kind of tired of listening to normal music. I guess I was getting like burnt out. I wanted to find something new.
Right.
And so I think the first ever thing I listened to was he made a video like top 5 albums from 2019 I loved, and it had number 1 was 3D Bath, Iconic Bitch, and I'm like, yeah, let's start here. Let's listen to that, and I'm still blown away. It's like it is damn perfect.
It's great how you enter a world like that's so fucking. I don't even know, like it has like all these people that you have love and admiration for. You know?
Yeah. I wonder how many other scenes there are out there waiting to be discovered like this.
Right,
like, you know,
right,
there's
exactly.
like as much as I'd like to believe that vaporwave's the only one, it can't be. You know.
Yeah. I don't know what synthwave would have, like, because I'm not a synthwave artist. I would love not to. I don't think I could try synthwave. Synthwave sounds difficult.
All synthwave people are just obsessed with differentiating themselves from vaporwave. I think.
I swear.
So
No disrespect.
they're like, this is synthwave. This is not synthwave.
If there are any synthwave artists that listen to the podcast, no offense, but I just want to say, like, the amount of times, like, here's the thing. Here's what's annoying. I'll go into a video and it'll be like, oh, this is vaporwave graphics, and it's just like it's just an outrun synthwave background.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
bro, stop. You're too.
You
far
guys seen
ahead.
this? You guys seen this neon grid with this sunset? Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's
You
so
ever seen
cool
that
and
before?
original. Never seen that before.
Never seen that.
It's
before.
synthwave, people. No offense. Just slow some shit down.
Just
Yeah.
just slow it down every once in a bit, and then like it wouldn't be too hurtful. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm a synthwave artist. Am I synthwave?
Yeah, you're synthwave.
Motherfucker, you synthwave.
Yeah.
You're synthwave. You're outrun.
I make
Outrun.
no, I make Simpson wave. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Simpson wave.
Simpson wave. Oh man.
That's a meme.
The Power Rangers wave.
Is that a thing?
I probably.
I've never.
That's the thing about vaporwave. It's that like. It's
can
probably already been done before.
Rule 34 of vaporwave.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no!
Right.
I was gonna go there.
If I go on my Twitter feed and I see a naked Helios statue, I'm shooting up the block because I refuse.
Rule
to,
30. Rule 34 of vapor. If it exists, there is a wave of it.
Bro, no, if I don't want to see a naked Helios statue. I know they have the statue of David, but I barely want to see that. Like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Someone's gonna tag me in it. I already see it. I can already see it.
Okay, let's get back on track here. Just a little bit from Rule 34. Back to the normal questions from. Guess who? At Your Unspeakable.
Yeah.
How did Eyeclick form? That is the question.
So that actually formed on a radio show. The guy Zach, we were talking about like being clickbaited or something like with articles on the internet, and
Zach's like, I click with my eyes.
I respect that.
And that's how Eyeclick was named.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been meaning to do this vaporwave shit, and we already had this name like Program 91, but
Gustatory Program
gustatory,
94.
like gustatory in Japanese, and I was like, what the hell does gustatory mean? What is that? Is that like me gusta?
Me gustatory.
Like, I think I like Eyeclick better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rolled off the tongue, and I thought that for like a year afterwards, I thought that we were just making an album called Eyeclick, and we weren't going to be called Eyeclick. So I made like a bunch of songs of just like crazy Destiny Star inspired shit. It had the demo of Heart Shaped Brain, which was like fucking like
Originally an Eyeclick song, everybody.
yeah, it's like future bass or like
Right.
it didn't have that drop. It had. I was like, I can make something like, the life should be easy type shit. And then that also had Wasting Time. The demo of Wasting Time also had the demo of Why Isn't It 2006 Anymore? And also had,
So all Enraile's Vex tracks were originally Eyeclick tracks.
Yeah, but I made them
everybody
all
should
myself,
know.
they're not iClick.
Right.
And then also the demo for Phosphenes was on there too.
It wasn't until like a few. How long ago? Like, I was just like, screw it. Like, I'm gonna make. We went to see that when it really started. We went to see Uncut Gems in the theater.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember like being. It was the first time I'd been in a movie theater in a
like
really,
years.
really long
They
time.
were super hot.
I like just like being in the lobby kind of gave me like this weird nostalgia, and I felt like that there wasn't really enough. There's not really themed vaporwave albums like anymore, really, like that are getting much recognition. I don't think, that's another thing that really drove me to vaporwave early on is I've always been a huge fan of albums that are like, you know, like, for lack of a better term, concept albums, I guess, you know, that kind of just have like a theme carried out through. And Vaporwave is so good at doing that because you could just choose like mall, you know, you could just choose something like blanket like that and like just work from that. Like I wanted to do movie theater, and then that kind of like drove me to, I want to do like every album that Eyeclick does is going to be like super themed on like on one central idea, and like how we can communicate that through music and visuals. We're doing visual like movies for each album.
I feel that definitely because, like, you know, I love like making album covers because, like, I feel like an album cover can tell the story of an album.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
oh yeah. Your album cover got to be good, you know.
Yeah, and I always try to make my album covers scream out what the album is trying to give off. The vibe is trying to give off. Like Palm City, you got palm trees, and you know you got the green kind of filter on it and shit like that, and it's, you know, it's supposed to let you know this is Palm City, Buffalo City, a picture in Buffalo with the fucking city, and you have your, you know, the music, and the music tells the story as well. The music, I think, but with most of my projects, okay, Buffalo City, that didn't tell the story. That didn't tell the story what I wanted to tell. I wanted to tell. I feel like the first half told it, and then the other half was just me slowing down music and then putting it on an album. But at the same time, I still try to tell a story with the albums that I make, and I still try to give off the vibe I want.
Yeah, and well, while making this Eyeclick thing, like, it's become apparent to me that all you really need to do is like just set your intention when creating it, or even when finishing the album. Like Ecstasy Market was originally going to be like, all the tracks on it pretty much are like tracks for comps, or like just tracks, B-sides. B-sides, tracks we weren't going to use for album, and we all just like threw it in this Ecstasy Market drafted album,
and that lasted like a week and a half. And then we're like, here's our whole ass thing.
Yeah, we listened to it all the way through, and we were like, well, like, this kind of like is coming together. And then we just set the intention like of it being an ecstasy market, you know, like you're going to like the drugstore, like, but you can buy any drugs, you know, like, and so we're just like, with that in mind, with that like feeling that we wanted the album to feel like, I feel like while we were finishing it, it kind of came out more. It kind of became trippier, and like you could see it. You know, it's like when you play any random given visual, like without the sound on YouTube while you're listening to music, and it goes along with the music perfectly. How could it go along with the music this perfectly? You know, that these two people didn't make this with that in mind. It's just like you hearing the music and you seeing the visuals, your mind is creating that correlation. Yeah. So like, I feel like it doesn't really need to be that obvious always. You know, you don't always have to like make it painfully obvious what it is. You just gotta have the feeling while you're creating it, and that feeling will transfer.
That's why all my titles are in Japanese.
Yeah.
Because literally, if you just take the time to translate it, then you'll know that it's what it's about. Let me see. But yeah, like, I literally when I make an album, it's like I want to tell this story perfectly fine, and I want to bring more attention to a certain thing, like, and that's why I named Palm City. Like, I remember Rusty Shackelford was like, "Yo, like, there's a lot of albums named Palm," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, but." I mean, it's more about the music aspect, you know. I want to give off that feeling of you entering like this city that's like, I don't know. It's like that feeling of entering a city that trying to find the right words for this. Shit. Enter in the city that makes you feel magical, and it's like, you know, it's the same city that has Paul Mall in it, which is the Corp album and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and I don't know if Palm City 2 will do that, but I don't know. But then, you know, Prelude to CrossFit and then Post CrossFit are like, it's I think Post CrossFit or Prelude to CrossFit and therefore Post CrossFit were both inspired by car rides. Car rides to Louisiana and then car ride back home from Louisiana. And
Nothing like a good road trip.
yes, sir.
Mhm.
And
That's one of the most inspiring things you can do.
I need to go on more road trips. I've always had a disliking towards them because as a kid I got like motion sickness and all that shit, and yeah, I have a huge phobia of vomiting, and I was like, if I'm gonna be driving in a car for more than like 2 hours, like IDK, especially because like with my family, that was the one thing that I was like not crazy about, like, because you know you have your dad driving and he's like yo, don't put your feet there or whatever. I don't know. It's probably different now, but it's just some memories from when I was a little kid.
I
But
feel it.
yeah, I need to do more road trips. I was wanting to do like the most road trips I've ever done this summer. I wanted to go on tour and shit. Because, you know, I want to start playing shows, man.
Yeah. Well, once Nashville is all open up, shows galore.
Hey man,
Yeah.
like I said, if y'all have fucking if we have another Electronicon, y'all motherfuckers better give me a goddamn ride.
Oh yeah, we're there.
And now begins the hour where we talk about Electronicon and how special that was.
Yeah. Oh. Electronicon was special.
Electronicon really,
yeah, it looked great.
it really kind of put everything into perspective for me. Like, all these people I know from Facebook and Twitter, they're real
Right.
people and they're just like me, and they're all like super big homies. And even the artists who are playing up on the stage, like, those guys are homies too. And you meet them, and like talking to Tech after the show was over, it was like, what?
That
just happened?
That was crazy. Smoking a cig with Jeff.
Yeah, bro. We were chilling with Vapor like right before he went on, and I was like, hey man, you ever think you're gonna release any like stems again? Like you dropped the project file, the Ableton project for 808 Dreams. He's like, yeah man, which one specific? And I was like, CD 64, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm actually opening my set with that. And like,
Man.
We were like, weren't we like, yo, you should crowd surf? And he was like, nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's like,
that was someone. He was
No, we were like, yo, crowd surf.
and we're like, we'll hold you up. Everyone who was there was like, yo, we'll hold you up. And then when he was like about to crowd surf, he like looked at us and gave us the thumbs up. He's like, are you sure about this?
We were like, yeah, crowd surf, bro. That was an incredible set.
That was like my second favorite set of the whole day. He had so much energy, and he had technical difficulties for like 40 minutes before it started. He went through like 4 DACs, and like fucking George Clanton James from DDS, and Golden Living Room, and like 5 other guys all came out and were like handing him DACs and trying to figure it out.
yeah,
So
that's
let's-
so dope.
Yeah, dude, that was incredible. And I think one of my favorite experiences from that was Televape's set at the very end of the night, because it was in like one of the other stages, not the main stage, and
It was in the basement stage.
Saint Pepsi was playing at the same time,
God.
so
everyone was at the
left.
same.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 people left for Televape, and it was like
Felt good.
me and Sam Sachs and fucking Jornt. Fucking Cat's Corp was right next to us. He was like recording the whole thing on his phone like a proud mom at a soccer game. And
a proud mom.
I was just grooving so hard.
Yeah, his set that night was that was the first time he played live too.
Yeah, like
and
ever.
That was like probably one of the best sets I've ever seen. Like it felt awesome to see that live. Like that Cat's Corp was like the vaporwave that I listened to for like there's no shortage of Cat's Corp albums, so I would go through them religiously back in the early days.
I tell the same 3 stories every time when I'm talking about Electronicon, and like I hadn't eaten anything that day, and we had smoked a lot of weed, and I was so hungry, dude. And we get to Cat's Corp after smoking outside on the smoking patio, and oh my god, he had these visuals when like. I think it was like when like Channel 4 came on or something, and it was just McDonald's commercials from the 80s, and I was like, bruh.
That sounds kind of lit. Dude, I hope to go to the next Electronicon because like it just seems so surreal. First of all, it feels so weird that people are dancing like to vaporwave. I've been saying for the longest time, somebody needs to start a vaporwave club.
Vapor Space STL, baby.
Yes, like something has to happen, and I might be the one to open it up. You know what I'm gonna call it? Club Palm.
Club Palm.
That's cool.
That's pretty hard.
And to be right there in Palm City, but
yeah, I started in our house here. We got a pretty sizable basement, good for shows. Cell Shade was planning on doing a tour before COVID and wanted to play here. I want to start doing vaporwave shows in creepy basement because it's like that's I think it's perfect. Yeah, creepy spider basement.
It's creepy, bro. There's spiders.
Come down to my basement, you know.
Come down to creepy basement.
Yeah, I'll just hang out. Yeah,
we have to go spider hunting before anyone comes. But yeah.
But I need some stuff so I can do live shows, like if that ever comes up. But I can't wait for the Hollow Fest.
You need an 1/8" to XLR or something, and then just play. Yeah. Just press play, and then pretend like you're doing a bunch of stuff. I love doing that.
Yeah, that's why I'm working so hard.
Yeah,
that's literally why I'm working so hard.
Check your Twitter DMs on stage, like while your music's playing through.
Start
playing through Fubar 2000.
Yeah, bro.
Just imagine someone starts grilling on stage, like
flipping
patties and shit,
handing them out. Like you hand out water, you just toss them.
Tossing like Sprite and shit. Just hey, whoa, that's mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. That Hollow Jams stream that's coming up. I'm so excited for that.
Oh man, that's about to be a great stream.
I have a solo set where I managed to play like all the songs I wanted to play, except spoiler alert, there's no heart-shaped brain, which is. But you know, there's like unreleased music in there and stuff, and like I don't know how I managed to do it like perfectly on like my second take, but I'm so excited for people to see that. And the Eyeclick set, that is we played like all our brand new stuff and a couple classics, and we worked so hard on the visuals. Actually, I worked so hard on the visuals. Will doesn't know how to use Premiere.
I work really hard on telling Nathan what to do with the visuals.
Make that thing go there. Yo, no, stop. Make that thing go right there.
That is also my job.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
we
Zoro does to me.
Wouldn't it be way more complicated if like we both knew how to use it and then we were both fighting over it? I think it's way easier for me to just sit back and go, "Yo, put it there."
it's easier for you, dumbass.
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, that's too hard," and I'm like, "Do it anyway," and we do it, and it looks sick.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn, we have like so many questions left. Like, but we're already an hour in. But I'm so happy that we're an hour in because, like, you know, I love podding. But Zara, I think you have the next question.
I do. That's right. Let me find it.
Wait,
there-
no. Did you already ask how Eyeclick formed?
I cannot remember, but
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna
Last
go.
one was unspeakable.
Yeah.
Question.
So my question is, sorry, Zoro, for cutting you off about that.
You're fine.
Who are your influences in the vaporwave scene?
That's Dynamic Shroud.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. I don't know why I asked. I should have let Zoro ask his question because I don't even know why I asked.
I'm a die-hard Shroudy. I fall asleep to DDS on repeat every single night. I'm like, I need to get more into like their other aliases, back catalogs and stuff.
Right.
But like every DDS album is just fucking perfect, man.
Yeah.
Those guys know how to do their shit and do it well. I listened to that whole podcast they did with Private Suite, and like it's just so fucking refreshing to hear, you know, their backstories and where they come from, and then they're like,
Right. It always is.
and then text like, yeah, there's a guy, he dropped this album this year, it's called Space World 2000, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, what?
Yeah,
He said that.
I remember when I heard that. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, Enraile, come on now, let's
That's
go."
amazing.
I've kind of been, you know, like jerking these guys off for like 2 years straight.
But I mean, it's true. Like, I would say Death's Dynamic Shroud as well because, like, you know, like, I think that New World feeling is kind of the feeling that we want to continue on in Eyeclick. Like, just that you can make vaporwave, but like, I just love a left field approach to making stuff. You know, I love shit that doesn't sit with you the first time you listen to it. You know, it doesn't click. I like shit that you
the fuck out.
You gotta like understand.
Leave the Discord call. No, I'm kidding.
Also, like early artists or like Enlobe, I really like that. Swimming with Sharks album is like really incredible. They took that off their Bandcamp and put it into some like big album with like all their early stuff for some reason. Like
Telepath is is one of my favorites. I just love how hypnotizing his damn music is. Like that album, the green one. I think it's either called like With Love or For Love or something. But like the first
the green one.
Yeah. Well, he has like 4 green albums. Not Path to Lost Eden, and not the green one where the lady's raising her arm upwards. It's the green one where the lady's looking out the window or something.
Yeah, that Arctic Circuitry album by Electric Spectre. That's another really good. I listened to that album on a road trip, and that was life changing. We got Fire Tools too. Fire Tools. Cucks actually had Angel Master, our last album.
She did an excellent job.
Yeah, I mean, like with what we gave her, being like literally like Tascam recordings of like noise live shows being so loud, and like she really cleaned it up and made it sound awesome. And again, like that, just melding to like Winter Quilt or like other artists that like I really like Zone Eater, like putting metal into vaporwave, you know, putting like black metal and like and some grindcore in there. Yeah.
All right. I respect
Cat's Corp.
Same.
All the originals. Gentleman Lounge, Dining Cult, Satisfy Your Thirst was
Love that
also
album.
a really, really inspiring album to me because, again, like the early vaporwave of just like a midnight television, you know,
Ooh.
just
Mhm.
just like a song, you know, like minute 30 seconds, just a fucking echo jam, you know.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just that's like the bare minimums. Like I feel like that really grounded me.
Neo Cali by Vectroid.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a Vectroid. A lot of Vectroid's like Vectroid work is really inspirational as well.
The song from Neo Cali, Calm.
Yeah.
You can definitely hear that in the first track of a Space World 2020. How it starts off with that super like fast arp, like and then it slows down. That was like a direct rip off of that.
Yeah, the first vaporwave tape I got was Audi by Cat System Corp. And it was this one label who made like a totally shitty version of it. like awful version. Senzu, that's right. Like the tapes took a million years to ship out, and then when it came, it was like it sounded like crap. And then I remember Cat's Corp messaging me like, we're doing Business Casual's doing a repress of it, like, and I got that too, and that sounded way better. And
I have the Senzu one then?
I'd sold it.
Oh shit!
I sold it a long time ago. Yeah, I wish I kept it though. Like, not gonna lie, all the vaporwave tapes I've sold, like,
yeah,
God
bro,
damn.
This guy fucking had Path to Lost Eden.
Yeah, that's right.
Enmesh and the Mesh and Telepath album with the green one with the waterfall, and he sold that like 5 years ago, and now it's worth like $300.
My fucking Boand got melted in my car.
Oh,
like,
yeah, bro, dude, that was a sad moment.
That was heartbreaking.
I still have Birth of New Day sealed though, but it's like a 2018 repress. So
dope.
I'm too scared to open it up in case I want to.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know the feeling of waiting too fucking long for a package to come.
Oh
Yeah.
dude, don't even tell me. I ordered this. I ordered the Heavy Black Heart vinyl when it came out, and I went right off to college, and I was like, that's probably gonna come to my house, and my dad will get it for me. And like, just got really distracted with everything, you know, going to college for the first time.
Right.
And like, it didn't come, and I was too scared and too much of a pussy to realize that like these are just guys I can talk to and say like, yo, where's my package? And I held it off until now. It's been over 2 years. And
2 years ago, where's my package?
And I'm not gonna ask them now, like, yo, where's that package I ordered 2 years ago? You definitely don't have any more of those.
Right. Imagine
but
if they to the wrong address. Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. I was just happy supporting them regardless, but I really wish I had that Heavy Black Heart.
It doesn't have Across the Pacific on it.
Yeah. 2 cassettes. I mean, I'm still waiting on 2 cassettes. And I think one of them is the With Love tape. And I think I checked the Los Angeles Twitter, and they're
having shipping problems.
Yeah,
I think
they're having major shipping problems. So, you know,
the first tape I bought, literally the first tape I bought when I got into vaporwave like 2 months ago, still hasn't arrived yet. It's actually Cinnamon Lounge Tiny Cult. It's a new album.
Oh, yeah, a Profile.
Profile still not here.
Yeah, he's having trouble with that too, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Twitter. A pre-order though.
Yeah, it was, and the VHS too.
I've been waiting anxiously for like 3 months, and it's not.
I wish I could take a look at time and see all of the vaporwave tapes I've ordered from either a label or a person, and like how many of them came versus did not come.
Right.
You know, because I'm sure it was a lot.
Aquablink is always the one who ship fast. I don't think there's any other labels I've ordered who like will ship and then they'll actually be here in less 5 days.
I don't know about Nathan's experience, but Ghost Diamond has never let me down.
Yeah, no, Ghost Diamond was really good with that. They got me the Live from Japan tape pretty fast. And
Nice.
I'm releasing like 4 tapes. And
4.
well, I mean,
Shit.
two tapes are mine, and 2 are just compilations I'm on. But like, it's kind of like scary to be like, with all this COVID shit going on. It's like, what if people don't get the tapes and they start yelling at me and like? But I mean, I have faith in these guys. I guess I can spill the beans now. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows. Space World tapes are dropping like a week and a half.
Oh shit.
On
Damn. You make me mad that I just depleted all my funds and I'm saving money for a fucking laptop because I really want that.
I wish I had the tapes in my hand because for some reason, like 4 different people have been like, "Can you sign mine?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not like a celebrity. Like, you know
I don't
me.
even have them. Like, what are you talking about?
Do you want me to like ruin your J card for you? Like,
you just not want to have a J card at the end of the day?
yeah, exactly. And like, I Hollow Jams is doing connection software tapes too,
Right.
and I've got to kind of organize the dates for everything because I have so much shit coming out all at once.
Yeah, when is I'm still unclear. I think we're doing tapes for Ecstasy Market. I'm sure we are.
Yeah, and we're also doing tapes for No Smoking Cinema.
Yeah, the 2 Eyeclick albums that will be out by the end of the month will have tapes. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know when the dates are on any of that. Like, I wonder what that's gonna be like.
Yeah, dude, it's weird because I was kind of dying to have cassettes for like a super long time, and it kind of just all happened over the span of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've had Cuck's self-titled cassettes.
Yeah,
in the past.
I seen them. I just seen them because so I'm thinking about doing merch and just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it and stuff like that. I've kind of figured it out, but I just don't know the exact thing I'm gonna do yet. But I know I'm gonna have merch, and hopefully people will be like, "Oh, that looks nice. I want to buy that." Like,
yeah, I think if I don't know, no one really likes CDs anymore, but that website Kunaki, like, kind of plugs with the CDs if you ever want CDs made of anything, because you can just like you can just make the CD, upload it on their website, and like you can order however many you want physical, right? But you don't have to order like too many because people could just go onto their site and order it, and they'll make it for them and send it to them. So like you don't have to have the stock.
Yeah. So to kind of divert from Vaporwave, I guess. Where did the name Enraile come from? Enraile.
So
good question.
That's just my name. That's just N Nathan Rail. The E at the beginning. Yeah. The E at the beginning, TBH. I don't really know why. It kind of stuck, but I made this like logo with my cousin when I was like 12, and it made it like way more symmetrical and cool to have an E at the beginning. But to be honest, I did not come up with the name Enraile myself. There are these 2 kids at my middle school who were like a year or 2 older than me, and this is when I was making dubstep, and they would whenever they saw me in the hallway, they're like, Enraile dubstep.
Oh man.
What was your first album called?
Fiber Optics.
Fiber Optics EP, bro. That's some rare Enraile right there. Fiber Optics EP.
No, that's up on my Bandcamp.
I'm checking it out.
It's still up on your Bandcamp?
Yeah, dude. I had like a revelation, like in like I don't know, sometime last year where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to be embarrassed about my music that I made in the past. I'm just going to, leave it all up. And
Right.
if people want to listen to it, they can. And also, like, at the same time, I was like, I'm sitting on all this unreleased gold that I haven't dropped yet. So that's when I made, like, Phosphene's EP. And I dropped, like, I dropped Dream Theory, too. And like the Phosphene's EP wasn't even. It was called Chillwave Album 1, and there were just like 5 tracks, like the first like 5 tracks of that album, and then 2 random songs that I was like, okay, let me put these in here too, and I just had this epiphany. I was like, I need to release like everything I make, or else I'm never gonna get anywhere, and people won't be able to see my progress.
Right.
That I've made.
Yeah, that's respectable as hell. So, do you guys have any favorite albums outside of Vaporwave? Like,
Will could, yeah.
Well,
oh shit.
So I'm gonna let you think about it.
Give us like a.
I don't know. Like,
I got
there's a
them
lot of
stumped.
music outside of Vaporwave that I listen to. Like, I only listen to Vaporwave like 13% of the time.
I exclusively listen to video.
I had Xerox Films fucking buy me the entire DMT catalog.
Oh shit!
Hell yeah!
Why did I do that?
That's a fat catalog. That's a fat catalog.
Why
That's
did
like
I
700
ask? Why would I ever ask for him to buy me the entire DMT catalog? I don't know. I don't know.
Because you support the scene. You support the scene.
Yeah.
Favorite albums outside Vaporwave? Well, there's this album called July by the artist July. It's this
July.
psych album from like the 60s.
I'll check it out.
It's pretty damn good. I listen to a lot of like psych and shit from like the 60s and like prog and shit from the 70s. I really like Gentle Giant. I really like Gentle Giant. Their album In a Glass House. Fucking incredible album.
Check all these shits out.
Yeah, I really like what else? I really got into Gorguts a while back. This like Canadian like death metal band. They're really good. They kind of make some insane ass music. I really like technical stuff, shit like that. I grew up more in like the rock, genre, like as opposed to Nathan's like electronic music. It's only like been 4 or 5 years since I got into electronic music.
Right.
I kind of just have phases. TBH, like I had like a 2-year long Linkin Park phase where I only listened to Linkin Park. I had like a 4-year long Skrillex phase where I only listened to like yeah
phases because literally I used to have a Michael Jackson phase, and that's why Michael Jackson is so present in my music, because like that's why in every album there's at least one Michael Jackson song, because it just feels like I have to, because I listen to him, and
I accredit my love for Vaporwave to loving Michael Jackson when I was really little. My mom like was a dance teacher or something and would play Michael Jackson all the time.
Right.
And like Off the Wall, like Bad, like those albums I would listen to on repeat when I was like 5 or 6, and I just like would get my groove on.
Right.
My parents gave me like, I don't know. My parents listened to some not odd music, like really generic music actually, but like just kind of a little bit all over the place. My dad would kind of just play me whatever was on the radio, so I started listening to like 50 Cent in the Club when I was like 4. Yeah, and like my mom would play like my mom would play the same like 40 songs at dinner every night. It'd be like Christina Aguilera and like Nora Jones and shit.
Oh no.
Another album that I must recommend if you haven't listened to it, if you're gonna listen to any albums that I recommend, you gotta listen to Vision Creation New Sun by Boredoms. That's an album.
Sounds so fun.
Oh yeah, Vision Creation New Sun. That's like an acid trip in an album. Like I've never seen it. I've never listened to an album that like embodied that more. Like it's crazy. I love albums that you gotta listen from start to finish, and that is definitely one. It just starts you off like in the middle of this fever, and then like all the songs go into each other completely perfectly. Right. These guys came from making like these Japanese guys make noise and shit throughout like the 80s, and then they like you could tell they really got into like krautrock and like space rock and stuff, and so they're like, all right, and so they did a whole bunch of like weird crazy production techniques and stuff. It's just like it's insane. It's like if you want to hear what goes on inside my head on any given day, you listen to that album. That's like pretty much what my head sounds like.
I feel that. Shit. I'm upset we have so many questions. Like I don't know.
I'm not.
Ask him
I'm
all,
not
bro.
upset, but it's like goddamn. Okay. So we're gonna get into some more random questions, and it's like 3 random questions, and we're gonna get into Twitter questions right after. The weird Twitter questions. What is your favorite video game if you have one?
Oh man, Will's never been a video game guy because his parents like didn't let him play video games or something. So now,
wow.
Now like all the games he plays, Will's always like, this game sucks. You can't shoot people in it. I only play games where you can shoot people.
No wonder your parents didn't let you play any games.
I never got to have the like Counter-Strike phase or like the like actual like adolescent like Call of Duty phase. I've never like really got into video games. So the video games I play, like the premise is like shoot guy. It's like that's as much as I can really pay attention to a video game. We played Life is Strange though. That was fun. That was really fun.
I did love Life is Strange when I played it like a couple years ago. It was a fun playthrough.
Yeah, that's a cool game. I've always been into video games though. When I was younger, and also when I was older, I had these big RuneScape phases. RuneScape is like easily like the most influential game for me that has taken so much of my life away. And I mean, not in a bad way, but like I just had so much fun playing that game and grinding out all the stats and doing all the quests and talking to people, joining a clan and like all that kind of stuff. And I kind of owe like 99% of the life skills that I have, which isn't very much, to RuneScape. Other than that, though, like I was super into Legend of Zelda. Ocarina of Time is like such a fucking good game.
Yeah.
And I played like I just finished the Wind Waker all the way through. I started that when I was like 8. And never finished it.
I'm a Pokemon kid myself, to be honest.
Pokemon's lit. I love Pokemon. And then, like, Mario games, obviously. My first real like Mario game that I got into a lot was Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. That game was a lot of fun. Just the whole worlds and stuff they have in that is just, it's something you couldn't really get anywhere else. And then like as I got a little bit older, like 12, 13, I started getting into retro games. I was watching like Angry Video Game Nerd and shit or whatever. So I ended up buying like an NES, an SNES, and an N64, and I don't have very many games for those, but I got like Link to the Past and a bunch of other essential games for the earlier ones I have.
I feel that.
But yeah, other than that, I started getting into like PC games, computer games, when I was like 14, 15, 16. So I played a ton of like Counter-Strike and Dota and random shit on Steam. And Gary's Mod, definitely. That's a big one for me. I love Gary's Mod.
Gary's Mod is sick. I need to buy that. I do need to buy that.
It's just such a like creative game. Like obviously you have like the stupid little kids on the servers and stuff that are shit talking and it's super funny, but like I can just go into like the sandbox mode and just fuck around and just throw shit for hours on end.
Enraile, send me the files. No, I'm kidding.
If I could, I would. I don't know if Steam works that way.
Yeah, I don't think it does. So don't do that. Don't get your account.
Yeah. And then like I know me and Will both played a ton of Flash games on our computers when we were growing up, like addicting games and like mini clip and stuff.
Newgrounds.
Yeah. Classic stuff.
Definitely.
If you've heard XXX off of No Smoking Cinema, you know what we were playing.
Oh, man.
That's
So, how did you get introduced to hologems?
Man, I think I was just like after my CD player remix video came out and after Connection Software came out before Space World, I was kind of just following everyone on Twitter and I made all these great connections from that, and Holojams was one of those. And I, from that point on, like anyone who followed me on Twitter, like I followed them back instantly, and like it's kind of risky nowadays, though.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely risky. And you follow people who you think, and I'm not calling any names. Sorry, if Zoroark thought I was gonna call it anybody, no. But there's certain people in this scene that I'm just like, I thought you were cool.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. Internet can be misleading sometimes.
It definitely can.
But yeah, Holojams was one of those people that I interacted with more than most other people, and I got added to that group chat, and I was like, oh shit, this is lit.
Yeah.
And I met all you guys and was having a blast, and I think I added Will to it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same for you, Will.
It's that's exactly the same.
All right. Do you guys have a favorite like 80s song or 80s album that you just love?
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
That's a large decade.
I'm a big Rick Astley fan, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
No. Start singing.
Sade's Diamond Life.
Oh yeah,
too.
Sade. My parents
Sade,
are super big fans of Sade, and they like saw her live in Washington at some point, and they had like the Diamond Life record and what's the other one? Smooth Operator, is that even an album?
Promise.
Oh, Promise, yeah, Promise. And that's like
Smooth Operator first track on.
Yeah, when I
Diamond
made
Life.
like the first few vaporwave songs I made, I just plugged my record player into my DAC and recorded it straight into Ableton from
that's dope.
like Diamond Life. And
yeah, I've been really, really getting into like 90s R&B.
Yeah, me too.
Recently.
Me too. I mean, I kind of have to.
Tyrese, Donnell Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, like I've been really, really getting down. That a quick Eyeclick spoiler is an album we have coming out is going to be like sex themed, like modern sex themed, phone sex with like like sampling only like sexy ass songs, like really sexy.
Yeah, I mean That's where like most of my like albums or like that's how most of my albums came about. It's just 90s R&B songs, and I'm like, oh, ooh, I like that one. Let me slow that down. Let me like this one. Ooh.
There's some real gold because a lot of them too fast.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing with our stuff. Like we listen to all these songs, like all these, like, especially K-pop songs. I've kind of been getting low key into K-pop recently.
Because they write fire songs.
Yeah.
The modulation in it, like
Definitely.
just the way the song is written. I listened to a lot of like early punk when I was young, when punk had like a strict like pop structure, and like the good punk bands like the Buzzcocks were able to like make a pop song but have it be super punky. I feel like I enjoy the way songs are written like that, way pop songs are written, but way too fast.
Yeah, it's kind of just like you find something on YouTube and you're like, this could be pretty cool, but
put it at 50%.
Yeah, 0.75 speed.
Definitely. So we're gonna get into our random Twitter questions. That oh wait, no. Before I ask during the Twitter questions, do you guys have a favorite '80s movie?
Blade Runner.
Oh.
Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never. Will has showed me tons of good. Like we have this whole ass VHS collection and just like random horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
and
Right.
stupid.
I'm really
stuff.
into like grindhouse, like stupid, like Z horror movies. Like I have tons of those on
like
VHS.
trauma films and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'm looking right now at my copy of Roderick. Have any of you guys seen that? It's probably the funniest
Say
movie.
that again because my computer's glitching out and
Don't worry. The Godzilla with Matthew Broderick. I think that's his name. The guy who played Ferris Bueller is in this Godzilla movie from like the 90s or whatever, or like early 90s. It's the worst movie ever made, but at the same time, hilarious.
Yeah, I love movies like that. Like, have you ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Sorry, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that movie is so bad that it's good.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It's so cheesy. I remember the one scene where he's like, "What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?" And then he fucking gut punches the dude's head, and the dude's head just comes flying off. That shit was, I don't know why, but that scene sticks with me.
Yeah, shitty special effects, shitty shit like that. Oh, I love that.
And you can't get that in like movies that come out nowadays. It's all like really like pretentious, trying really hard. Like, yeah, exactly.
So another question coming from Vilter. What's best in life for you?
Say that again.
What's best in life for you?
What's best in life for me? I'm living here with my girlfriend, my best friend, making music every day. I think my life is the best.
Dream.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get more serious questions. I'm gonna ask those first if there are any. Oh wait, well we kind of already answered this one, but inspirations and physicals.
Oh yeah.
DDS and we talked about the physicals. So
sorry, Alex.
We have two hot dog questions.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't know how this happened, but we do.
Hey, so this comes from Sleep Pattern AV. Hey, if you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
I think I would either take like little nibbles off of myself just to sustain myself.
I'd go bun first.
Yeah,
see how I was feeling.
Yeah. And also, if I had like hot dog, if I had ketchup and mustard on me, like that can be reapplied. You know, you can't regenerate your hot dog flesh.
True.
Right. This one comes from Hollow Gems. If you were a hot dog, which one of you would be the bun and which one would be the wiener? You sound sounds
I
like
think
a gay sex question.
Will's kind of a wiener. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of a wiener. I think I'd be the wiener.
Sounds like a Brokeback Mountain DVD. Oh, that's disgusting. Unspeakable asks, why are they so hot?
You cut out, but I know exactly what question.
What question was it?
It's why are we so hot?
Oh,
That was the question he asked.
Genetics. That's like the best way to answer that question. Genetics.
You gotta have a phase for like 16 years of your life where you kind of just
you
like,
look goofy.
Yeah, really like stupid. And then I don't know, man.
I've been going through that phase my entire life. If that's what you're trying to say.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird.
You're a looker.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too personal here, but like, I'm not. I don't know. I've never been the